We'd like to say greetings to everybody that's here and listening. Um, I hope that we're coming out okay. We are just excited about the time that we're living in because we're living in a time where we can witness things culminating into the total end time, the time when Christ is going to have to come in and step in and rectify things. Uh, the Today we want to talk about financial pressure because we are dealing with financial pressure, and it's contributed to by war and famine, along with the COVID situation that's been going on. Um, we are really at a time that we've never experienced before. We've never seen a time like we're living in today. But you can rest assured that those of us that have had our time in prayer, and those of us that have sought the face of the Lord, the Most High, we know and we expected that things were going to culminate and come to what they have come to. And we are just here to just keep you informed and let you know that we're praying with you, and we're looking unto the Lord the Most High. We're looking unto Him to bless us and take us through and give us incentive how we're going to make this thing happen and work for us, and how we're going to navigate through all of the problems and the trouble that we're dealing with. Okay, let's move on. We're dealing with financial pressure. And most of us are feeling it at the grocery store. You know, when we go to the grocery store, that's one of the most important things that you need is groceries, because that sustains your life. You got to eat food. You know, you can only go so long without eating. Now you can survive longer without food with water if you got water, but a time will catch up with you. You know, you won't be getting the nourishment that you need if you try to just drink water. Your body will go into ketosis and burn up all the fat eventually, and then it'll start burning muscle. So we need food to be able to sustain ourselves. So we're feeling it at the grocery store. The prices are rising, and it has become a nightmare for us. You know, the American dream. You know, everybody was talking about the American dream, owning a home, owning two or three cars, different things, but that has become a nightmare. Also, the American lifestyle for the middle class is dwindling away quickly. You know, things are really coming into fruition about the end times. You can't afford things like you used to. You can't do things like you used to. You just can't come out and just go on vacation at the drop of a hat like we used to. Some have never really been a person that went on vacations or what have you, but we know that the time is really short. It's really winding up, winding down. Okay. Uh, if you are a person that deal and try to live off fast food, that's only going to be temporary. You know, it's overpriced. You know, fast food is very high right now. You know, you go to the fast food restaurant and you spend $15 like it ain't nothing. You know, and then you've got food that's not really that nourishing to your body. So some people, they just love this. They just go to the fast food restaurants and they eat the fast food every day. But the time that we're living in, it's going to get us back to cooking at home. We need to learn how to cook at home. A lot of the young people don't really do a lot of cooking at home. But if you got a family, you need to learn how to prepare a home cooked meal. It's a lot cheaper to prepare a home cooked meal, and now it's going to be more feasible to eat at home because you know, you can't decipher between what you're going to do, if you're going to eat or you're going to put gas in your car. That's the time that we've gotten to, and it's pressuring down on churches also. Churches, nonprofit organizations, it operates independently from the government, and typically its purpose to address social and political issues. But sometimes they want to take that right from the nonprofit organizations to deal directly with the people. But we are forced to deal with the people now. We got to tell you, we got to warn you, we got to give you pointers of how to prepare for these times, for these days that you are dealing with. Let's move on. Okay, it's telling me to check my internet connection. Your live stream is experiencing connection issues. Try troubleshooting your internet connections. Reboot the router. I hope that I'm coming out to you on the other end pretty clearly. Hopefully, I gotta dismiss this warning that they've given me. But anyway, as we move on forward, we understand that we are at a situation now where we cannot be so dependent on the government, because the government is in trouble. The government is overspent, and they have spent our money. They have spent the money of our future for our children. They're spending the money for them. So when you look at the situation, the dollar, is in trouble. The dollar's in critical condition. It's losing its value every day. If you got money just sitting somewhere and it's not working or not doing anything, inflation is eating at it like a Pac-Man. It's just gobbling up the power of your dollar. Now I know, we like to have a little money. I tell the people all the time, always keep you a stash. You need something in case, sometime you go to the stores or whatever, and they'll tell you that the computers are down. You can't purchase anything. We can't use a credit card machine, but you could use cash if you got some cash on you, you can make a purchase. So we have to be cognizant of that, because I know everything is going digital right now. People are going off into the cryptocurrency, but if all the power is shut down, then your money is trapped in cyberspace. So we got a lot of things that we need to think about as we move forward. Okay, so the dollar is steadily losing its value. And what caused this? They had the debt problem that was going on, and they just kicked the can down the road. And as they kicked that can down the road, the debt problem began to swell bigger and bigger and bigger until it got so big until you couldn't kick it anymore. So we have to understand that this debt has went through the roof. The debt problem is so big, you can't kick the can anymore. So we got a lot of distractions that we have to deal with, dealing with this economic situation. A lot of distractions from this financial collapse, and they've been warning us about it all of the time, that we're headed for a financial problem, financial trouble. And I believe that it's here now. I believe now is the time that you're staring it right in its face. So we have to be concerned about that. The interest rates and the prices of everything is going up sky high. It's going off of the graph. So we as a people, we should be first to know the situation that we're dealing with in this world. They're going to implement this great reset. I believe this is the first stepping stones toward it, with this war that's going on over in the Ukraine, the Russian troops going in. They're preparing to try to go in on foot. So when they do that, that's a sign that they're really trying to go in and seize the place. And they have put out some warnings to the U.S. not to continue to assist the Ukraine, by sending in supplies, weapons, artillery, and different things like that. It's almost like if you got a boxing match, when the guys out there on the boxing in the boxing ring, when they time 3 minutes where they got to go and take that break. They got the individuals over there that's freshening them with water, giving them whatever that they need so they can get back out there and start fighting. So we're like the trainers in the corner waiting for the Ukraine to come in so they can regroup and give them all the supplies, give them guns, give them weapons, give them different things that they need. So Russia is taking offense to that we are on the sidelines helping their opponent. So we are dealing with this economic situation. The money is in trouble. The dollar's going down in value. You can just check that out by how much the dollar was able to purchase back in the 60s. If you had a $10 back in the 60s, you was doing pretty good. So the Federal Reserve, they are up on top of a lot of this stuff. It says this is a little bit older statement that was made. It says the Federal Reserve announced that it passed that it would buy an unlimited amount of treasuries and agency mortgages, including multifamily, to grease the wheels of the credit markets. The purchases are attempts to avoid the types of credit crunch seen after the collapse of the financial system in 2008. So I guess they're trying to say they learned something from 2008. So they're putting money out there, but you have to be warned that, if they're financing all of this property and everything, if it defaults, it's going to belong to them. All right. And then it says the Federal Reserve has snapped up $1 trillion of mortgage bonds since March, a record pace of purchasing as the U.S. Central Bank tries to blunt the impact of the COVID-19 recession and the American homeowners. Now it's the war. So it's a lot of things that are happening that's causing us to feel this financial pressure on every side. We got pressures anyway to begin with. We had problems even before this happened. So we got a crisis that is not just ahead, but this crisis is going on and happening right now. We got this crisis that's causing all kind of problems, all kind of situations going on, and keeping us from being able to maneuver and function like we should because of all of these crises that's going on. So it's not only just going on, but it's going to get worse. And it's going to get worse than most people want to recognize and realize that this thing is getting so bad that, it's going to cause hysteria. It's going to cause people to get more violent. Robbery is going to go up and theft will go up. Because when people get hungry, what are they going to do? They're going to go out and try to find something to eat. It brings out the savage in a people. There is a law called the Abraham Maslow, I think his name was. He had what he called a hierarchy of needs, and it was like a triangle. I'll probably put that up for you. I don't have it right now, but it's like a triangle, and at the base of the triangle was the normal necessities of life. Food, water, and shelter is at the basics. And this is where this whole situation is putting everybody at the bottom rung. Well, not everybody, but most people. The middle class almost is, down, maybe a rung above it, because, it doesn't take much to shake it and cause everybody to fall on that bottom rung, which says that, we need water, we need food, we need shelter. And outside of that, we can't function, we can't think, we can't do anything. So this is a social situation that they've studied. We got social engineers that study this stuff, and they know how to get people into the savage mode. If you take away those basic needs, then men become more savage and become more violent. And they had a movie years ago called The Lord of the Flies, where these young boys were like trapped on an island, and they became savage because of wasn't able to get the basic needs that they needed to be able to function and to live by. So we have to understand that as we move on, as we go forward, this thing is really coming to a head on you, me, everybody. You know, nobody is exempt from this. You know, some people think that gold is going to help them. All right, good. You know, go on and get you some gold. You know, I talked about this topic before, but it's more pertinent now because of what we're dealing with. You know, so gold is good. You know, the Bible says, "I counsel thee to buy of me gold, tried by the fire." But when Christ said it, He said, "Buy of me gold." So you need to have the gold that He has taken through the fire, not this wicked system. You know, this wicked system is a dog eat dog system. When we look at what has happened in America and all the atrocities that America has done and perpetrated evil against everybody, and now America is in need, and they need help from people that they have kicked down. You know, this old saying, watch how you treat people when you're on your way up, because you never know who you're gonna need when you're down. So a lot of times, you know, a person does mistreatment to another person, and it costs them dearly. And this is what has happened to America. You know, it's kind of being isolated because of all what they have done in the past. And, you know, like Putin right now is operating under, he's desperate, basically, and he's angry and he's mad because of all of the evil that has been perpetrating and painting him as a crazy man. So he said, I guess I'll act like one then. So he's sending all these bombs and stuff in and killing up people. And then he's meting out threats to the U.S., you know, and it's not very good because, you know, when you operating in pride, that's a bad thing. Pride is terrible to be able to operate in. We need a level head to be able to operate in this world that we're living in. And some of you all remember in 1971, the government held the price of gold was at $35 an ounce. Can you imagine that? $35 an ounce. If we had hindsight or futuristic vision and could have bought gold back then, every last one of us would have been multi-millionaires if we would have invested at that time and then held it up to the day. It says that the government held the $35 ounce until August 15, 1971, when President Richard Nixon announced that the United States would no longer convert dollars to gold at a fixed value, thus completely abandoned the gold standard. So that was pretty ruthless of him to do something like that, but it was a planned strategy. So what that did, that lit a fuse to the dollar system and caused the dollar to be at risk when they took it off of the gold standard. You know, the dollar used to be powerful at one time. As a matter of fact, right now I believe the dollar is universally acknowledged as the petrodollar. So that's why another reason why we should be concerned about what's going on with this oil, because a lot of the oil has been traded by U.S. currency through the petrodollar, but now it's at risk. You know, it's got a fuse lit to it. The government during the time going back to the 1930s, they did something that was unheard of. they seized the citizens' gold, and if it happened once, it can happen again. Called economic depression. So a lot of times you can't depend on your own wit. You gotta count and depend on the Lord in order to be able to come out on this thing all right. That's who our trust has got to be in. It's got to be in Him. So it happened around the economic depression when they did this, when they seized the citizens' gold. So the currency collapse, the economic downturn is blamed on and concealed by the COVID and now the World War. So we got a lot of things that been working hand in hand. So they're trying to put that final nail in the coffin. They're not going to do it all at once, but something's got to be done because this debt is out of hand. It's way out of hand, and we got to really get a handle on it before it's too late. But it is too late. It's already too late. So they have had something. So the public is preoccupied trying to stay safe and alive rather than to try to pay attention to what's going on in the financial world. Now we are forced to pay attention. Yeah, this war is causing a lot of us to pay attention to what's going on. You know, they done caused our dollar to shrink down so bad. $100 don't go as far as it used to go. You know, at one time you had $100, you thought you was doing pretty good, but the dollar is lost so much, and is in such trouble right now. So it's constantly losing its value. Many dictate the level of your livelihood and welfare. It's losing its value. That's why I named this video financial pressure, because financial pressure is bad on marriages. Most marriages are, dissolved because of money. Most marriages, dissolve because somebody is too selfish, don't want to put their part in, don't want to share in the expense. So fiat currency is going to be annihilated eventually. All of this paper currency, because the debt has risen so high until it's almost to the roof. It's almost the debt is like it's almost out of space. So I don't care how much money you got. Some people probably got hundreds of thousands of dollars stashed away in their home. That's good in one sense, but in another, is how valuable is it? And then, a lot of times they trying to take it all the way down to where you can't go in and spend a whole bunch of money like that. You got to take that money to the bank and then write a check or something like that, or use it with a debit card. So the debt is all the way up. It's breaking the ozone layer, so to speak. The inflation is just out of hand. So we're experiencing financial pressure. Everybody is. And this war is not making it any better. All right. I'm going to look at a few scriptures from the book of Ezra. We're going to look in the book of Ezra real quick. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of God that is set before them. See, we have the law of the Most High set before us, and it's set before us so that we can adhere to it, so we can have something to go by. We're not just supposed to be down here to do whatever we please, but we have to adhere to the laws and statutes of the Most High. All right? Then it says, for God has given straight commandment to such as came, that they should do to live what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. So we have some things that we can do to observe and look and be able to avoid punishment. That's why it's so important to have righteous leaders. When you have righteous leaders, they are representing the people. Even if you're a wicked leader, you're still representing the people. Just like Zelensky over there, the president of the Ukraine, his decisions are affecting all of the citizens of the Ukraine. So if you had righteous men that are in leadership, that sends like an umbrella of protection over the populace. So we need someone that is concerned and willing to uphold the word and teach the word to the people. All right? Then it says, nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things. So when you refuse to hear the word and refuse to do what the word has told us to do in the beginning, what better person would you think that understands and knows about what we need to do other than the one that created us and put us down here? So he's letting us know what we need to do, and if we do it and obey it, we'll fare better in our life. All right? Then it says, and deceive them by the wicked deeds. So your wicked deeds will deceive you. And said to the Most High that he is not, and they knew not his way. So the scripture already told you that the fool have said in his heart that there is no God. So the scripture call you a fool when you believe and think like that. So we don't want to be categorized as a fool. All right, let's continue on. Then it says, but the law have they despised and denied his covenant, and his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his works. And therefore, Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the fool are fool things. So if you function off of vanity, then you're going to end up vain. You're going to have an empty life if that's what your focus is. That's why, when I look at social media and all the things that's going on, how the people conduct themselves on social media, they're living a vain life, and they're leaving off the most important things that will sustain them. But we all are getting a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call for us all. And I'm so happy that the Most High, the Lord, has given us time to get ourselves together. If you got breath in your body, if you're alive and well, you still got a chance to do something about your situation. All right? The next verse says in verse 26, behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth. So a lot of times, that's where, that scripture right there debunks the sneaking up rapture, the secret rapture, don't let them catch you with your work undone, and you're going to come and go, and you ain't going to know it and all that and all. He's going to come, and all eyes going to see him. All right, the next verse says, and whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders. So don't you want to be one of those ones that actually experience the wonders of the Most High? I definitely want to be one of the ones that experience those wonders. Okay, let's continue on. I'm so glad for the word that I'm going to continue to live and do what I should do. I'm going to conduct myself, and even I'm going to even get more concerned and more strict on myself. Pray more, fast more, study more. We got so much that we got to contend with, that this world, is not offering us any kind of concessions. We got to make our concessions through the scriptures and through the word of the Most High. This is where we must govern ourselves to do, and to teach your young children, teach them what they ought to do, teach them how to live their lives according to the word of the Most High. This is what time it is. My people, we are in a time that a lot of us thought we would never see. A lot of us thought we'd never see the time that we're in. And us as people of the book, some of the things that we have gone through, like the many years of rape, robbery, lynching, hanging, redlining, and discrimination, and more have come to a head. Now judgment is being poured out on the successors of the perpetrators of these evils against the Negro. The blacks that choose not to align their lives with the word of the Most High will suffer along with the oppressors. Some of us believers will have to endure persecution just like the apostles and the disciples, so that the word can be fulfilled. So we are not going to be able to just get away scot-free. Some of us probably would never suffer any dire consequences, but some of us are going to have to endure trouble. We're going to have to go through some things. We're going to have to see what is going to befall this place that we live in. All right. So let us get ready to close. These things were written about in the Old Testament and the New Testament and the Apocrypha. We are experiencing the fulfillment of the end of time prophecy. What we see happening now in the world is only going to escalate. The next big thing after the fall of the dollar, the famine, the war, and many deaths shall spread throughout the world, which will devastate the remaining thought of any hope for returning to any kind of normalcy or peace. After things get so chaotic, the world leader will rise and demand allegiance and command all people remaining on the earth to bow down and receive the validation for preparation in the welfare of life. This is written about in the word of the Most High. Then it will be determined who has faith in the Messiah and love life. So we have to understand that you can't love life too much. You can't love life too much, because if you love life too much, then you're not going to be able to experience the things that are allotted for us to experience. So I just thought I'd bring this short video to you on this Shabbat and let you know we're all in financial pressure right now. Gas prices are more worse on some than others, but eventually everybody's going to feel the pinch. None of us is going to get away from this. You got millionaires that's concerned about this. You got millionaires that understand that you can't continue to do a thing and not have to deal with the consequences. The Bible says, evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. So my friend, we are dealing with financial pressure. Financial pressure is on. Financial pressure is here, and it's going to be here for a minute. And those of us that understand and position ourselves, we will survive it. I want you to know that you can survive financial pressure. All right? I'm so thankful for you. Till we meet again, we're going to say shalom.